Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special solo edition of the NTI PodTalk. I'm Dianne Koehler, and I'm Director of Nutrition Therapy Institute. And the reason why I'm here today doing a solo pod talk is that I want to talk about NTI's new ABC program. So our ABC program is a public education initiative that is here to provide holistic nutrition information for those who aren't quite ready to jump into our NTMC Nutrition Therapist Master Certification Program, and they really want to just get information for themselves. So why do we have this ABC program? And the reason for that is because for as long as we've been around, as long as we've had our NTMC program, we've had people reaching out to us asking, I might be interested, but I really just want to start out by getting information for myself. Do you have any standalone classes that are just, available to the general public just for self-information purposes? And we've always had to say, no, we don't. We just have our NTMC program. Now we have our ABC program, and with that we can now say, yes, we do have those standalone courses. So ABC stands for Anybody Classes, ABC. And these are short classes with simple, easily attainable educational content that provides nutritional and lifestyle information for people who are seeking to really support their own personal health and help them achieve their own personal wellness goals. Now, taking these classes doesn't come with any certification. Completion of these classes doesn't provide you with any sort of titling or anything that you can use to market yourself as a nutrition professional, giving advice to others. These classes are truly for self-knowledge purposes to support your goals, an individual person's goals in taking responsibility for their own health. So currently we have 5 classes. We have one on brain health, one on bone health, one on gut health, one that's called Stressing Your Metabolism. So that's about metabolism and stress and the relationship between those two. And then we have one on estrogen balance for perimenopausal women. So to kind of give a brief summary of each of these 5 classes, I want to start and kind of combine the brain health and bone health classes and talk about them together. They are separate classes, but I want to talk about them together because these are classes, this type of information is usually believed to be for older people who are getting to the point in their life where they are concerned about brain health or bone health, particularly women and bone health, and or they've gotten some sort of diagnosis, or they're starting to have some sort of symptoms that would indicate they have some sort of compromise in their brain health or bone health, either for themselves or for a loved one or a friend or something like that. And certainly, though that population of people are ones who are most often going to be coming to classes like this. But my mission in life is to help people of all ages understand how important it is that they take their brain health and bone health, really all health, but brain health and bone health, seriously at younger ages, because compromise in brain health and compromise in bone health are really just an accumulation of small things that people do on a daily basis that build up over time, over years and decades. And the consequence of these small things that happen over life are going to show up as decline in brain health, decline in cognitive function, and a decline in bone health. So my goal is to help people recognize that no matter what age they are, no matter what stage of life they are, first of all, they don't have to wait until they become an older adult. And they can start taking steps now to help prioritize their brain health and their bone health, because once that decline starts, you already have a shorter clock to start working against once it starts happening. And so if you can kind of preload the health, the food and lifestyle choices before you get to that age at which these things start to show up, then you are going to be, better prepared and well suited to mitigate the risks and the potentials that there is a dramatic decline in these two functions, brain health and bone health. And so in both classes, we cover a little bit of the anatomy and physiology, just so you kind of get oriented on what are the structures that we're talking about and what do they do. And then we go into the specifics of how diet and lifestyle choices can be made, can be initiated now, no matter what age you are, to achieve tangible benefits in both systems, the brain and cognitive function, as well as in bone health. Because, something that I always say is that there are a couple of things in the body that if you don't use it, you will definitely lose it. And the three primary ones are your brain, your bones, and your muscles. And bone health and muscle health go together. And so in the bone health class, there is some discussion about using your muscles to optimize bone health. And so I really just want to help people understand how important it is to start using it properly so that you don't lose it once you get to an advanced age. So that's kind of the introduction on those two classes. On the gut health class, so why do we have a gut health class? Well, because essentially everything boils down to gut health, and more specifically, microbiome balance. And there is so much research, and there's research coming out every day that discusses and elucidates how disruptions in microbiome balance are the root of dysfunction in wide areas throughout the body. So, as nutrition therapists, we really prioritize making sure that gut health is, really at its peak, so that whatever situation we are trying to provide guidance about for someone, no matter what their health goals are, we have addressed that underlying gut health issue. In this class, again, these classes are designed for the kind of novice or someone who isn't really steeped in all of the science. And so in this class, there is going to be a little bit of coverage on the anatomy and physiology of the digestive tract. You really just have to understand a little bit of anatomy and physiology when you're talking about any sort of health condition, any sort of health goal. So we do cover that anatomy and physiology. We delve into inflammation in the gut. And we really talk about how that gut inflammation is what exemplifies the overlap between poor gut health and systemic body dysfunction. Then we do a really deep dive into the foods that are going to provide that targeted support for achieving optimal gut health resolution. Additionally, in this class, on the gut health class, there is an additional sauerkraut making instructional video that teaches you step by step how to make sauerkraut. And the reason we do that is because fermented foods are kind of a key pillar of optimizing microbiome balance. So the next class is called Stressing Your Metabolism. So this class covers what is your metabolism, what does metabolic health, what does that refer to, what does that actually mean? And the reason why we have this class and why it's so important is that only around 10% of the population, statistically, what research shows is that only around 10% of the population has optimal metabolic health. And so there is a wide range of people, a wide body of the population that can get benefits from having this understanding of what metabolic health is and the ways to achieve better metabolic health, which is covered in this class. And so many people don't realize that they don't have optimal metabolic health, that they're in that category of people who don't have metabolic health, and they may not even realize that they need this kind of information. And so that's why we have this class, to help people understand why they need to focus on this. And then we go into the negative impacts of stress on metabolism. But we don't just talk about, kind of life stress, and we don't give advice like try to reduce the amount of stress in your life. That's not very useful. It's not very practical. We talk about the hidden stressors that many people don't even understand that they are stressors. And we talk about how to address these hidden stressors with diet and lifestyle strategies so that you have tangible, easily applicable ways to make different choices about your diet and your lifestyle to help, number one, improve your overall body stress response, as well as help improve your metabolism. And we're not here to tell you just to, meditate and do yoga. That is certainly not the priority and the focus of this class. So just really trying to provide much more useful information for people. The last class is about estrogen balance for perimenopause and beyond. And this is obviously a class that is designed specifically for women as they approach midlife and the natural biological adjustments that their body is going to experience to prepare them for their, next life journey. And so this class provides actionable guidance about how to make sure that you've covered all your bases to avoid the typical hormonal chaos that so many women talk about experiencing at this time in their life. And it's really common for women to say, oh, I was a wreck and everything went wrong and I did this and I had that and, I was having these experiences and these experiences. I guess I'm here to try to put a positive spin on this time period in a woman's life, perimenopause and beyond. Kind of shed light on the fact that this phase of life doesn't have to be chaotic. It doesn't have to create turmoil and suffering for a woman. But because that's the sort of common messaging that goes out there, so many women, once they get into this phase of life, because they've heard that it's turmoil and suffering, it sort of turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I'm here to do is provide you with the knowledge that's going to prepare you to handle this natural biological change in life so that it is not one of chaos and suffering that we've all heard so much about. So in this class, we're going to do a simple introduction to the biology of hormones and their functions. And then we're going to spend more time talking about how the body facilitates hormone regulation naturally. And then when you have this knowledge about the detoxification processes and the interaction between gut health and hormone balance and inflammation and hormone balance, when you have this information, then you will know how to optimize body function overall to optimize hormone balance and be prepared for if a woman is reaching perimenopause or is in perimenopause and is starting to experience that, that kind of turmoil in their life. There are a lot of ways, a lot of things that you can do to mitigate that and to support the natural change that's happening in the female body. So, NTI's NTMC program, our Nutrition Therapist Master Certification Program, is designed to go deep into the science of all these issues. It is a formal, educational, comprehensive, science-based education in the science of the human body and how nutrients interact with the human body. And ultimately, most of our students for the NTMC program come to NTI to get this one-of-a-kind, unparalleled, deep knowledge about holistic nutrition so that they can use it to create a practice where they are delivering this guidance to clients. But for those who want to get information that is in support of their own personal health and wellness goals, those who maybe aren't ready to jump into the full NTMC program, they're really just looking for self-help right now, and they want to see the type of information that NTI has. That's what our ABC program is for, and that's why we have created this program. It might spark that interest to take these ABC classes. It might spark that interest to actually dive in and pursue the full NTMC program, but even if it doesn't, we love sharing knowledge that helps people make well-informed decisions about their food and lifestyle choices so that they can make different choices that are optimized to actually help them achieve their wellness goals. And this ABC program is a low commitment. The classes are inexpensive, they're short duration, and is a way that people can get that self-help, that knowledge to help support their own goals in a way that prioritizes, giving actionable guidance in easily, quote unquote, digestible ways. So to learn more about our ABC program, you can go to our main NTI website, ntischool.com, and on the top menu bar is an option that says Enrichment Classes, and you just click on that, Enrichment Classes, and that'll take you to all of our ABC classes where you can learn more as well as sign up for those ABC classes. The other thing, while you're on our website, if you haven't already done so, please sign up for our newsletter. It will help keep you informed about everything that's going on at NTI, including if your primary goal is to participate in our ABC program, you'll get updates on that newsletter about when new ABC classes are added, as well as occasional sales and promos. Lastly, if you're interested in this for yourself, sure, that may be one thing, but maybe you know someone in your life, a friend or a relative who you think might also be interested in this information. you can gift an ABC class to them to help support their own wellness journey. And when you go to the checkout page to pay for one of these ABC classes, that's where you'll find the gift option. So check it out, see what we have to offer, take the classes, get some education for yourself, gift it to others, and we hope that you really do enjoy this content and you find it useful in your life. And maybe you find it so interesting that it really prompts you to want to dive in and actually get a certification to become a nutrition therapist master. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye.